but what is the best way to prepare it and get it on the table? The time it takes to prep a whole chicken isn't much more than seasoning and sautéing chicken breast. And while it's roasting, you're free to do other stuff like homework help and macrame.
Macrame, I love macrame. As you unwrap the chicken, be sure to save this packet. It contains the neck, liver, and heart. These are great for making fresh stock. I always like to rinse the chicken thoroughly in cold water before preparing it. As you are doing this, you can remove any fat pockets that you might find. Once rinsed, the chicken needs to be dried completely.
Why do we need to dry it so thoroughly?
We want to make sure it ends up with a crispy skin. It is always a good idea to start with your meat dry before you cook it, no matter the method.
All right, the bird is bathed and dried. What's next?
The next step is to get this bird all dressed up. I was thinking more along the lines of getting her seasoned and ready to cook. I like to start by removing the wings. Use your knife to cut right at the joint. Save these wings with the other parts to make stock.
That stock is for tomorrow. How do we get things started today?
Let's start by seasoning the inside of the bird. Get a good amount of salt and pepper into the cavity, and then let's add some aromatics. Today we're using parsley, thyme, and fresh bay leaves, but you can use rosemary or sage if you like.
I see that you used a fresh bay leaf. I only have dried in my house. Will that work as a stand-in?
Absolutely. This recipe is flexible for really what you have on hand. Once we put the herbs in the bird, I like to add some fresh lemon as well. Once the chicken is stuffed, it is time to truss it. This promotes uniform cooking. Start with a 24-inch section of kitchen twine. Center it on the tail. Then bring the twine up and around the legs and double it over on itself. Pull it tight to bring the legs together. Then bring it around the legs again and pull tight. Now that the legs are secure, flip the bird over and make a loop around the neck and tie the ends together with a simple square knot. Finally, trim the ends of the string with your knife or kitchen shears.
Well trussed.
Now, let's season the bird and get her into the oven. I like to use a little extra virgin olive oil and a healthy amount of kosher salt. Don't be afraid of oversalting. It is undersalting that you should worry about.
Tom, I'm very concerned about the crispness of this chicken's skin. Will this help draw out the moisture and make the skin more crisp?
Absolutely. Next, coat the bird with a generous sprinkling of fresh ground black pepper. Then we'll finish with our herb mixture and get this bird into the oven.
Hey, what's in that herb mixture anyway?
This mixture is called Herbes de Provence. It's from the Spice House in Evanston. It's a great herb mixture that includes lavender, believe it or not. It's definitely worthwhile to have around the house. Heck, a little of this will brighten up even scrambled eggs.
What is the best way to roast this chicken?
Cooking a whole chicken is so much easier than most people think. Once we have it tied and seasoned, just pop it into an oven that has been preheated to 375 degrees.
I see that you are using a convection setting here. What about my oven that doesn't have this?
Convection will help it to cook a little faster, but a standard bake setting will produce a fantastic roasted bird just fine.
Bird's in the sauna. Now what?
While the chicken begins cooking, let's prepare the side dishes. Yukon Gold potatoes are great for roasting. Cut them into even pieces. Just as we trust the bird to promote even cooking, we want the same for the potatoes.
How are these going to be seasoned?
Pretty simple. We use a combination of olive oil, salt, and white pepper.
Why not fresh ground black pepper?
White pepper is more visually appealing on these light-colored potatoes. I just think it makes for a more refined final product.
Hey, Tom, do you have any tips for keeping cleanup to a minimum?
Sure. Spending 10 seconds lining your baking sheet with tin foil will save quite a bit of time during cleanup later. Spread the potatoes out so they will cook evenly.
Are those Brussels sprouts?
Ethan, wait! Hey, come back! Brussels sprouts don't deserve their reputation as every kid's nightmare. Roasting them is my favorite way to prepare them and other fall vegetables.
Same drill with the seasoning as for the potatoes?
Surely.
Hey, don't call me that.
Again, lots of extra virgin olive oil, salt, and black pepper. The Brussels sprouts will absorb a good amount of olive oil, so don't be shy with it.
What a surprise. Black pepper again?
Can't cook without it. When we roast the Brussels sprouts, the outer leaves will char a bit. Those toasted edges make for a good snack, just like the loose fries in the bottom of the bag.
These go on the same tray as the potatoes? No zoning issues there?
If you have room on that baking sheet, you can use the same one. Just make sure that both the sprouts and the potatoes are spread evenly.
What's the temp for these?
These can pop right into the oven to the same temperature as the chicken, 375 degrees. Now there isn't much to do until the chicken has been in the oven for half an hour. After 30 minutes, you will want to rotate at 180 degrees.
It's been an hour and it smells insanely good in here. Can we eat this darn thing yet? I haven't had dinner since yesterday.
First thing we want to do is make sure the bird is fully cooked. Our goal is 175 degrees at the meatiest part. We will use my handy dandy meat thermometer and insert it into the thigh and push it in, being sure not to hit the bone.
Temp looks good. Let's eat.
Not just yet. If you cut into it now, all the juices will run out. You need to let the bird rest for at least 10 to 15 minutes before you cut it up and serve it. While it is resting, you can gather the veggies and potatoes from the oven and round up the family for dinner.
Woohoo! Cleanup is going to be easy. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Happy eating!